we have this type of power curve for almost every single community and tribe that we have looked at. So you usually end up with a few very influential people. So, and here I'm giving you the example of the beauty tribe in the US. So 22 high influence people. So by high influence, we mean people that get a huge number of backlinks and connection retweets from the other member of the community. 150 in the magic middle, and I mean, a few thousands in the long tail. And it's very important to be able to infer the level of influence of the people, because depending on who you are, you may not be, let's say, entitled, I would say, or empowered to reach out the people who are at the top. So I don't know whether you have already tried to send an email to people like Chris Brogan or Guy Kawasaki, but I mean, it takes some time to make your way up and to get some, let's say, to get some visibility from these guys. So it's very important not only to get who is relevant, and within this this sphere of relevance, to get what the level of influence of these different people. I mean, people like Chris Brogan, I mean, if you look at his readership, you are close to, I mean, a few 100,000 visitors unique a month. So, I mean, it's a real business. I mean, these guys are a real business just by, I mean, their thought leadership and content that they produce on their blog. So here, I mean, I'm showing you the reach of one of the top bloggers from the beauty community. So easily, I mean, you can get to the complete information, and you'll see you are in the 150,000 unique visitors a month. So, I mean, that's a huge audience for a blogger. I mean, and here you can get, I mean, things like his page rank. So when you build an influencer program and you decide that you're going to reach the top level bloggers, I mean, this is the kind of people that you're going to face. So, I mean, either it's going to take you some time to be, let's say, credible and build up your trust in that community, and so it's not something that you're going to get in days, or you're going to have to pay, I mean, clearly, meaning invite them to an event, sponsoring their speech, or, I mean, things like that, and it can be pretty expensive. Or, I mean, if you are a big brand like Chanel or Louis Vuitton, I mean, then it's a little bit easier. I mean, Louis Vuitton, for example, I mean, they do things like invite a top blogger in fashion and fly them to China for a fashion show. I mean, usually bloggers respond well to this kind of offer. But I mean, no, not everyone can have this type of power. The other thing that you got to, let's say, analyze, understand, and dive into, and especially if you have a limited budget, is you want to really spot the people that are going to give you the biggest bang for your buck. So sometimes that means that you have to analyze how these people are influencers. So here, for example, you have got a bunch of clusters, so within a community, and I mean, I don't exactly remember which community it was, but as you can see within that community, so you've got people who are very key to reach out from one group to the other, and some other people who are more important to, let's say, access the core of the community. So their level of influence may be similar, but the role that they play in the community is different. So, I mean, let's say that you have a product which is already well discussed in the green, the top right corner in this part of the community, and what you are, let's say, what you are really looking at is penetrate the bottom part of the community. So this guy with a little circle in green is critical for you. And I mean, if you have to invite one guy to your next event or send him a sample to review, I mean, this is this one that you have to talk to. And so sometimes this, this cluster could be geographical, like let's say the green guys may be the people in the UK and the rest of the community in the US. So this green guy in the middle, he would be very instrumental to bring your message from the UK people to the rest of the community. Sometimes they are by, let's say, subtopic, like on the fashion or on the beauty community. So you've got some people who are more influential and building a cluster around all the bio cosmetic and so on and so forth. Some are more from the let's say brand, heavy brand addicts. So depending on what type of people you want to reach out, you have to analyze and pick your cluster. So what data do you need? So as a summary, when you want to build a really, let's say, targeted outreach campaign, so relevant. So you need to understand who is relevant, so from blogs, from Twitter, and who is relevant to the product and the services that you have to offer. Influence, and you get to influence by analyzing how people links one to the other, how they retweet, they reply. So, and when we let's say, as we talk about bloggers, cross linkages and bloggers is clearly a critical element. And you'll have to look at traffic, and we do that. In our solution, looking at 6 months of past data from all these different people. So how do you find influencers? That's what I'm going to tell you now. So how do you mix and use all these criteria to find the critical influencer for you? So there is we recommend a 3-step approach. So the first step that we recommend is to start with a strategy, because you cannot go after every influencer on the planet. So what you have to do is you have to spend time in your marketing strategy and select the tribes and the community that you want to engage with and where you want to have an impact. So you end up identifying 1, 2 tribes who are relevant, and you find these people both in Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and blogs. So then within these tribes you have to find influencers. So which individual are the most relevant people to your brand and topic. So, and as Murray was saying before, this takes a lot of listening, because some influencers might already be working for your competitor. So although they may be a good fit, they will never help you in pushing out your message or selling your product. And again, here I have a quote from a key beauty blogger. So influencers have very little tolerance for bad pitch. So you have to be relevant, they have to know you, and you have to have a message which is right on target. So how do you define the tribe that's relevant? So here I have just giving you a few examples. So if you have a viral video on animal rescue, so then you probably gonna end up looking at cause marketing tribe and pets. So you get communities around cause marketing, deep communities around cause marketing in the US, and you've got also a deep community about pets. Again, the type of messaging and the type of let's say approach may be different. And will be different for these two communities. So on the cause marketing, you may emphasize some aspect of your video. On the pet community, some others. Sometimes it's more difficult. So if you have a eco-friendly product, so, you could go for sustainability and biotech and beauty. But on sustainability, you may have to be a little bit more specific on the people who are in sustainability and cover your type of product. If you do research on ethanol, and another example is that you will go for communities in biotech and sustainability, and I mean these are examples that I mean we have on a daily basis. So what we see also more and more is, especially in the high tech, is people using let's say tribe and community as a new demographic. So they would say, we'd like to do a blogger outreach campaign in fashion. I mean, and here I'm talking about tech companies interested in doing a blogger outreach in fashion. But within fashion, we want to target the people that understand tech. So, I mean, there is a very, let's say, interesting thing that you can do from a marketing strategy, and it's very rich. So, and I would encourage you to spend as much time as possible as crafting a strategy and I mean, playing with different ideas, because it's not always, let's say, you have a beauty product, you should target the beauty communities and so on and so forth. So sometimes you can get, I mean, even better result if you go, let's say, a little bit more creative on audience targeting and finding the right people within these communities. Then step 2 is to identify the relevant influencers within those tribes. And again, it really depends on what it is that you want to achieve. So if you want to activate ambassadors and you want to build an ambassador program, so something that a lot of brands do nowadays, I mean, because I mean, usually the situation is that they have opened a Facebook page and they have tons of people liking them, but it's not very actionable because, you know, within this, the people who like them, you've got everybody and nobody, and it's almost impossible to find out within these hundreds of thousands of people in their Facebook page who, I mean, how to segment it, how to properly message it. So another way to build a brand ambassador program is to look into the few tens of thousands of people who are, let's say, Maven, so Maven influencer in the field, and spot the one that talk already about your brand and that are positive about it. So that's one way to build an influencer program, which is more a brand ambassador program. So another way that, I mean, you may go to topic experts. So let's say you've got something which is unique. You have a unique value proposition on the market, and you want to make your point. So what you will probably have to do is to spot the people who are really influential on your domain and who are also really on that topic. So it could be aging. So as an example here, I took the example of the beauty community. So and what you would do in that case, that you would look in the beauty community, spot the people who are the most relevant on aging, and then you may engage one-to-one. I mean, ask questions, invite them to a discussion, and find out, I mean, whether I mean, they like the kind of new product that you are bringing out to the market, and then and build your let's say case for your product or your services in that market.